Today we're talking about arpeggios. There are many different kinds. Some are quite easy while others can be very challenging. In this video, I'll go over the basic exercises you need to know, what to keep in mind when playing arpeggios so you don't build bad habits, and how to practice them at different levels. No matter what kind of arpeggios you're playing, one of the most important things to watch for is your elbow position. A good rule of thumb is to always keep some space between your elbows and your torso. If your elbows are too close to your body, your movement becomes restricted, and that often leads to unnecessary tension. When we play arpeggios, and this applies to scales too, but we usually start from the bottom, we go up, and then come back down. As you go up, your left elbow gets closer to your body, and when we go down, your right elbow does. And this is inevitable, but we still want to maintain as much space as we can. So I avoid sitting too close to the piano because if I do, my elbows are already too close to my body. So I sit back, relax my shoulders, and just let my upper body move side to side. One more thing to remember, don't lift your elbows up to create space. This might seem like it helps, but it actually brings tension to your shoulders. The most basic arpeggios are built on inversions of triads. So today we'll be using a D major chord. So that's D, F sharp, and A. The first inversion we have F sharp, A, and D. Then the second inversion A, D, F sharp, and back to the root position. So we're gonna start by just playing these chords first until you feel comfortable. And then we'll turn them into arpeggios, so one note at a time. The most important thing here is wrist movement. To put it simply, when your thumb plays, your wrist drops a little. Then as you play the next finger, your wrist starts to lift. And by the time your pinky plays, your wrist is a little higher. Something else that's really important, your fingers shouldn't stay resting on the keys after they play. Instead, they should join the other fingers and stay in a more closed, compact position. That way, when your pinky plays with a higher wrist, your thumb is already prepared to move to the next position. When you're going down, the motion is reversed. So when your pinky plays, your wrist goes up, almost like it's standing up. Then your wrist moves in a smooth arc downward. And by the time your thumb plays, your wrist drops a little bit again. The next one is almost the same as the first one, but with an added note. Instead of just D, F sharp, and A, we now play D, F sharp, A, and D. And the fingerings will be 1, 2, 3, 5 for the root position, and then 1, 2, 4, 5 for the first inversion, and back to 1, 2, 3, 5 for the second inversion. The technique we use is basically the same as before. You drop your wrist when the thumb plays and gradually lift it as you move up. But because the notes are more spread out this time, you don't just go up and down, you also have to move side to side. So when you play D, your wrist drops, but as you play F sharp, your wrist lifts slightly and shifts a little to the right as well. If moving to the right feels confusing, just try to keep your forearm aligned behind the finger that's playing. Also, do not start with all your fingers stretched and placed on the keys. Keep a closed hand position as much as possible. And this movement should come mainly from the wrist, so your elbows shouldn't be doing too much. The next arpeggio exercise is probably the most difficult. many reasons why this is difficult, but I think one of the biggest reasons is your thumb movement. After playing the first 3 notes, your thumb has to go underneath to play the next note. But because the distance is so wide, the motion becomes really difficult. And when coming back down, your third finger has to cross over the thumb, which is just as tricky because of the large gap between the notes. Step 1 is very simple. You play D with your thumb and keep it down the whole time. Then you play A with your third finger and F sharp with your second finger. So you're playing the notes before and after the thumb, and we just go back and forth. The key here is to keep your thumb very relaxed and flexible. When you play A, your thumb naturally rotates like this, and you'll almost feel your nail touching the key. And when you play F sharp, it turns the other way a little bit. So your thumb is not fixed, it's constantly moving and adjusting. Notice how I'm playing very short, almost like I'm jumping to the next one. Step number 2, we'll actually play the thumb instead of just holding it down. So we'll play A, D, F sharp, D, A, D, F sharp, D. It should feel light and bouncy. Just make sure you're not jumping too high, so we stay close to the keys the whole time. This is where your elbow position becomes very important. Yes, a little bit of movement is totally fine, but make sure it doesn't lift too much, especially when your third finger crosses over. This time we'll play the full arpeggio, but you'll play D and then F sharp and A together. And then D again, F sharp A, D, F sharp A. All very short and light. So bounce on D, bounce on F sharp and A, and immediately move to the next position. Again, try to avoid too much twisting. Just bounce lightly onto the next note. When I play arpeggio fast, it might sound like I'm playing legato, perfectly connected, but if I slow it down, so when you go from third finger to thumb or thumb to third finger, don't try too hard to make it legato. But what's more important is that you move quickly to the next position. And when your thumb plays here, your other fingers shouldn't still be waiting here. They should already be in the next position, ready to go. That's exactly why practicing staccato is very helpful. The next exercise is where we gradually add notes. Start with just 2 notes. Play them as light and fast as you can, especially the last note. Then try 3 notes. Again, in one motion. And then 4, 5, 6, and so on. If playing this fast feels too difficult, just slow it down. But what matters is play in one continuous motion and bounce on the last note. Arpeggios are such an important part of piano technique because they show up in so many pieces, but they're also really difficult, and they still are for me. But if you practice step by step and stay patient and consistent, you'll get there and you'll feel much more comfortable. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.